So breaking, and this is via Robbie Fox at Barstool. The Hardy Boyz will be taking on the Nemeths, First Class, and Rascals in a 4-way match at Slammiversary.
And from what I understand, we could maybe announce the Slammiversary match today.
Yeah, they've been doing hella press lately, and the Hardys are ruling, dude. I love this. I hope they get inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame like this year as well. I think Ronda, the Hardys, Batista. I think that's a healthy class right there. Then a couple like old schooler legends like Demolition. I think they still didn't this year. They did Natural Disasters, right? So maybe you do them next. Yeah.
Yes. So this is an exclusive that we're just breaking. I think it's going to be announced in a couple days from now, but we are going to be getting our rematch for the tag team titles. And it's not going to be an average, ordinary match. It is going to be the match that we made famous. It is going to be the Nemeths, Nick and Ryan Nemeth, defending the TNA World Tag Team titles against myself and my brother, against First Class, against Rascals, and it is going to be a 4-way ladder match.
And from what I understand, we could maybe announce
a 4-way ladder match.
Yes.
Please don't die. I think they're going to drop the titles there, retire from TNA. I could even see them getting inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame before the event. Maybe not, or they would have announced it now. But yeah, and then I see them going back to WWE in some capacity. Now, I don't know if it's going to be like one more run or anything, but Jeff Hardy also announced that he's been sober for 3 years now, like 100% sober for 3 years now. So yeah, hopefully he's doing well, and we can, like, I don't want to see the Hardys ripping it up with Street Profits, but I mean, if they go back and put a team, like, get a couple guys over, then get inducted, like, who gives a shit, right? I'm okay with that. If they go job, get a couple wins, maybe do a couple jobs, and then ride off into the sunset, who would be mad at that? So speaking of the Hardys, they beat the out of this mascot here. At the Mets game. And dancing. And so TNA Slammiversary expected to sell out. I hate how they word this. Expected to sell out over 3,000 tickets sold. So they're set up. They originally set up for like 4,000 and some. I think they think they'll reach that. I think they'll reach maybe 4,000. They're in a building. It's like a 20,000 seater or something like that. Something crazy. So I just don't know what they're thinking. The UBS Arena. How many seats does that hold? Let's type that in quick. So UBS Arena seats. Let's just type that in. What's the capacity there? Ice hockey, 17,000. Concerts, 19,000. So it's like you're going to do 4,000 people. I guess they consider that a success. I consider it a success that they got 3,000 people, but they should have just went to a venue that holds more like 5,000-6,000 and then put 3 or 4 in there. You know, that would have been the move, I think. And yeah, I think some crazy shit goes down and some faces show up at this show and some people pop up that might really make people go insane. I think this will be a big show for them. And this is in Long Island, rather. Did I say California? Long Island. I know that, you know, people who work there are excited, and to them, like 4,000 is a big success. Like, that's what they hope for. That's a sellout for their setup. But this vernacular of like people are selling out, I just hate that we play this game. I hate that we play this goddamn game, you know? Every show's a sellout then. Well, we only set it up for 100 people, so it's a sellout, you know? It's just silly. Anyways, though, Santino Marella listened to fans, and Santana Proud has been added. So Mike Santana has been added to the TNA World Title match at Slammiversary. It's Trick Williams versus Joe Hendry versus Mike Santana. This is how over Santana is. They had to add him as a triple threat to Trick versus Joe Hendry, which was supposed to be the big attention-grabbing fucking money world title match, you know, like for TNA at their Slammiversary show. And I'm not knocking TNA. I know I'm just being critical. I'm calling it down the line. And they had to add Santana. Guys, I've been harping on it. He's so over. I've been going over this every show. And that's why. Because look at this. He's on NXT, like in the main event. It's like him and Hendry standing there, eyeing up First Class and Trick and all this shit. And I believe this was supposed to just be a Trick Hendry one-on-one. And this could be how, like, Santana could get this belt. This could be how they keep it off Hendry for a while as well, right? Which I don't know if that's an L. Like, maybe Hendry is losing the steam because WWE introduced him quickly, but that doesn't mean he won't be. It doesn't mean he doesn't get a huge pop at WrestleMania shit. It doesn't mean he's like a nothing burger when he's done in TNA, guys, right? It's ebbs and flows. They got something with Hendry. They recognize how over he got himself. They will now run with him like he's secure in any wrestling company. He's got a job anywhere. He could be in creative in WWE for the rest of his life now, you know, like at that level now. He's a mind, which goes beyond the physicality in the ring. The great minds in the business, you know, they will always, the cream will rise to the top, daddy, you know, but the great minds have something like they can go produce and shit after. He can teach people how to get over with their characters in NXT when he's 50 and doesn't want to bump anymore or whatever the fuck. He's good. Hendry's good. People treat it like, oh, one trick pony, he's done. It's like, no, dude, if he showed up at All In with the say his name, and they'd be like, oh my God, Hendry, he's the most viral fucking. Hendry built that. They want to diminish him. Fuck that. So yeah, Santana, he's building that too. He's over his shit right now, is what I'm saying though. So do they put the belt on him? Is what I'm, because NXT's eyeing him up big time too. And it's his dream to be in WWE. And don't get it twisted. They're trying to do the Puerto Rican, Cuban. They're doing all of Latin America, okay? Latina America. That's what they're trying to do, man. They're trying to cover that whole thing, that whole fucking spectrum there, okay? Mike Santana would fit right in there, dude. What are you talking about? That'd be fucking amazing. And he's running shows in Puerto Rico and shit. You guys remember the last big WWE Puerto Rico show? You mean that Bad Bunny and Santana and shit wouldn't work, you know? And Damian Priest and all that. Like, come on, man. You got something special there in Santana, and I'm so glad he got at AEW. And we covered it on the last show, too. Angel Ortiz, or the show before. Angel Ortiz is like, yeah, I would like to be on TV, too. Responding to sickos, dude. It's like, that's what happens when you don't fucking push back and stand up for yourself. Sometimes it's not all about the money. And sometimes you make more money by saying no to a lot of money. Now, I'm not saying say no to a lot of money, chat, okay? It's hard to come by just a lot of money up front at a no. I get it, right? Yeah, sometimes like holding off, you have greener pastures down the road, down that road there, bud. Speaking of Jeff Hardy, what happened with the Hardy's AEW return with Ariel Helwani? He said that him and his personal problems got him in trouble with the law. I think I never got a fair chance to redeem myself. At least that's how I felt. And I totally understood why they didn't want to give me that chance. I blame myself all the time. Yeah, it's better you guys are not in AEW, though. Honestly, it really is better. Speaking of Ariel Helwani, Matt Hardy had this to say about their time in WWE.
And we knew that Vince early on tried to split us up. Like there were a few different times where the Hardy, even way before it was time to, I think, because he saw potential in doing things. And, you know, obviously Vince became a big Jeff guy. He loved Jeff. Jeff always been more historically popular than I am, but still, I think people forget how popular I am on my own too, even doing that, which is pretty cool.
When he would suggest this, would you push back early on to break you guys up? Did you have that kind of we say in things?
No, I mean not really. I don't. I don't think we kind of had that.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up.
Right.
Okay.
But I mean, there was some times, you know, where there was a scenario where they were trying to do something and Jeff didn't feel comfortable about it, and none of us really did, and then we just like got taken off TV for a few weeks.
Oh, really?
But still did house shows.
Okay.
Because they were trying to push us into a split.
Okay, like sort of as a punishment.
I think so.
Damn. Yeah, Vince. Yeah. You can only be fucked up if your name's Shawn Michaels. Everyone is selfish. So here's what the Hardy Boys have to say about the TNA locker room right now. Now, in a little bit, we're going to talk about Britt Baker. And, you know, we have Queen Aminata piping up and either taking shots at her or aligning with Britt. But we see this all the time. This messy Camille comes and goes, people's friends, nepotism, the fans turn on Mariah May. You know, backstage conflicts, slaps, fights, all this bullshit all the time in AEW, right? And then you come over to TNA and we're showing you guys how Carlos Silva runs the whole backstage, giving the award. They have these team meetings, even though they only show up to tapings and stuff like that, right? Like they all separate and go off on their ways, then come together in TNA when it's time to tape television and do pay-per-views and stuff like that. And that's sort of how it is in AEW as well. But in TNA, it's not so cliquey. And you don't hear stories like this about the AEW locker room either. And I mean, going into All In, there's been rumors that the morale's been a little bit low. Now, again, rumors, schmoomers, I don't fucking know. But I think when the wrestlers speak about it, you can really get a sense of it. There's no AEW wrestlers who've ever come out and been like, the locker room's so great, we support each other, it's the best, da-da-da-da-da. It's always like they're cliquey, they're shitty, this drama happened, I don't know what I got to do to get booked, I'm at work, da-da-da, people don't come to the ring, you know, the young guys aren't trying to learn, people are filming 3 weeks of vignettes. We hear all this stuff, and I just quoted a bunch of different people there, from William Regal to Punk to fucking so many different people I just threw in there. But TNA, where we hear how the locker room's so together and tight knit, and even when D'Amore left, it was demoralizing. But at the same time, they all rallied together, and people weren't. You know, there were some people kind of bitter by that, but TNA told people, if you're disgruntled, like, you can pretty much go, or we're moving forward like this. And I mean, the Hardys are talking about how strong and tight knit it is. Same within WWE, and we see that with the reality shows, pal. Those are all fake. I get it, but the reality shows, the curtain being pulled back, like, okay, LFG's fake, but like the drama on it's fake for the most part. I mean, some of it's real, I guess, maybe, but for the most part, 95% of it's fake, and they're all tight-knit working together. And you hear about how tight-knit the locker room is backstage in WWE as well. You hear about some stuff like, hey, some people get aggravated that like Roman can just pull up on a plane, da-da-da. But we've never really heard anything come of that since. You know, it seems like everybody's tight and having the best time ever. TNA's the same way. Let's take a listen.
Can you describe the feeling right now in TNA today, back when you were, you know, as opposed to like back when you were with like the older guys, right? Like the Hogans of the world, the Bischoffs of the world.
Sure.
It feels like a totally different time.
Yeah, totally different. I mean, it's you know, they've been through a few different transformations, obviously.
And people are like, Ariel Helwani's a WWE shill and he hates AEW. No, they don't let AEW guys, unless you're MJF, go on that show, because MJF's persona, and this is what he tells Tony. Oh, well, you know, like, I have to do whatever I want. I'm like it's my gimmick, Pat. Like, Tony's in on it. So it's like a work. They think they're working. I'm just going to go there and work them, bro. I know that's what it is. No one else from AEW is allowed to go on the show. And Ariel's a WWE shill, bro. He has to interview TNA guys, and he has to get released. I mean, he did get Cross recently, which was cool. But again, Cross is the kind of guy where they let him do whatever. He went and did Eddie Bravo's conspiracy theory pod, where they talked about like the Illuminati and flat Earth and shit. You guys know what I'm saying?
Wrestling's not fake!
So like he's off doing his own, he does whatever he wants as well, I guess. But yeah, man, it's like Ariel, and I'm not saying the Hardys are bottom of the barrel, but they're in fucking TNA. Like, okay, I guess Cody Rhodes was on there too. So what I'm painting a picture of, he's not fucking shilling for anybody. He's getting everyone on the show, right? It's just not his fault that AEW people can't go there, right? Cora Jade went on his show and is like, I don't think I'd go back to WWE or whatever the fuck. Maybe that was CVV, but either way, it's like saying CVV's a shill when he interviews everybody, but he's able to point out like, well, Dave Meltzer's a dumb fuck, but whatever, you know, I even worked in AEW, pal. I'm not allowed to work there because I said things that maybe were unfavorable. I wasn't asked to return or whatever. So I was honest about this, right? That's how it works in AEW. So it's unfortunate, but yeah, we can't be calling Ariel a shill. Maybe he kisses ass a little bit of Nick Khan because they're boys that go way back. And maybe he would, I don't know. There's people pointing out Ariel's numbers and Yahoo Sports numbers. They're not really looking that great. And that this uncrowned shit has been a pretty big L thus far. Big L, rest in peace, right? So I've seen some rumors like Ariel just wants to fucking get that TKO job now that this is going to blow up. I don't know about all that. You know, that's what I'm getting at.
Obviously, you know, but at that time they got some steam, but you know, I think they didn't play the cards like they should have played the cards. Right now, we have a great roster who is working for the greater good. Everyone is very selfless. Everyone wants TNA to grow, and it has been. We have a new boss right now that just came in, Carlos Silva, and he's been doing a great job. He's super passionate, super motivated. Not a wrestling guy per se, but he is learning on the fly, and he is super motivated to make TNA as big as it can possibly be. And we're both happy. I think what started kind of this resurgence in TNA was Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth coming and becoming the champion. I think that was a good boost for them.
Why do you feel that way? Why was that a turning point?
I just think Dolph Ziggler, Nick Nemeth, he'd been on TV for 20 years, WWE, established star. a lot of people were surprised. They thought he'd probably be a lifer, at WWE. And then he came in, and he is a very talented guy. And I think he brought a lot of star power, a lot of name power, and people started taking TNA a little more serious. And then you have Joe Hendry, who became viral, and I think you just recently
Love him.
visited with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the best. Joe Hendry rules, and he became a viral sensation, so that's helped with everything. And then I showed up out of the blue. Nobody knew. He didn't even know. I'd kayfabed everybody.
Monet and Mina, I mean, they did have a decent match. It got a little sloppy when they were doing the, hey, let me do the 619 around the apron and then kick you and then tornado DD. Like, that was sloppy shop. But again, Monet just steals away. It's like so predictable and shit. Now Tony Storm hits the ring. She runs.
You didn't tell your bro?
I had no idea, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
He didn't even know. Out of the blue, nobody knew. He didn't even know. I'd kayfabed everybody.
You didn't tell your bro?
I had no idea, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I just old school business, I guess.
I like that.
I definitely would have told him. But then, I came, and then Jeff ended up following me. And when he showed up that night in Chicago, we were just talking about that crowd that night. They were amazing. They were red hot, but it was probably 1,700 people, sold out, standing room only. They sold extra tickets so people could stand. And just now we're going to be doing UBS. And we've done shows this year with, 5,000 people, 4,000 people. We've had some great houses already this year. So I think us being back obviously has helped out as well. And then to top everything off, the NXT TNA partnership has been super beneficial. You know what I mean? Especially crossing. And I think the thing with Trick being the champion is a pretty unique story. And I kind of dig that they're doing that.
Yeah, shout out the Hardys and TNA right now cooking. So Mustafa Ali recalls a moment when Vince McMahon mistook him for Arya Daivari. So we have Vince mistaking people for Shelton Benjamin Shelton, dude. And then we have Vince mistaking Mustafa Ali for Arya Daivari. So I'm in the ring. I did this move, reverse 450 splash. The match is over. As I'm walking towards Gorilla, towards the backstage, Vince typically doesn't come to Gorilla until Raw starts, and Raw starts immediately after the show. So Vince was walking down the hallway to Gorilla, and he bumps into Arya Daivari. Arya's wearing a three-piece suit, and Vince goes up to Arya, goes, hell of a finish, kid. That was impressive. And keeps walking by. And Arya just, thanks, boss. And Arya walks up, and then I walk in and walk by, and Arya's like, hey, Vince totally thinks that I'm you. And he's wearing a three-piece suit. Listen, either Vince was 100% fucking trolling and is like that type of dude who will do a racialist type of fucking joke like that, just like blatantly and troll, or like he was really losing his shit. And I think he was really losing his shit. That's what the fuck I think, man. And that is a crazy story. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was TNA News.